Alright, welcome back to another Freedom Friday. We've had a busy couple of weeks. Last video showing you a few designs, a couple of sketches of the character that I'm making. I was also learning ZBrush in an attempt to make a 3D model of this character to get a basic idea of the proportions, arms, legs, torso, and how I'd make some of the mechanisms function. I'd also taken some of my mechanisms I designed in Fusion 360 a step further, so we've progressed a bit since the first video. I had a couple of eyes move in. Now I've got roughly most of the parts I'm going to need to make the mouth open and close and go side to side, raise the eyebrows, and I've got a head and neck mechanism that I've been working on here. So you can probably see this weird little strange contraption sticking out of his back here. You can kind of see here I've got a couple of U-joints, one here and one here, controlled by push rods that connect to this point and this point. And essentially what this will do is if you tilt it and arc it, whatever you do down here will translate at the top. So if I push this up, I get it down, vice versa, side to side. So all I've done is 3D print out some of those mechanisms for prototyping purposes, and this is what we've got so far. So we're shy an eye at the minute, but essentially what we've got is the mouth that open and close and go side to side. Got a couple of cables that are coming out the bottom here. These will be attached to either a control mechanism or a couple of servos, and obviously just pulling the wires here, make the mouth open and close. We've got two wires at the side so we can get a swivel going. So obviously once we've got the open and close and the swivel pulling at the same time, it's kind of hard that it's been connected. We get the old side to side and open and close that I was after. Oh yeah, I did the eyelids on last night just to see if that would work. I've got a servo arm back here that's going to push these forward and backwards. Obviously there's going to be one attached to the other side. I've got my eyes moving here. And I was playing around last night with a couple of ear ideas. These are just two clevises bolted together. Bit of rods and some springs and just a simple bit of fishing wire or something to pull these up and down, so maybe get, ears go up or something. Maybe these will be curved around. So yeah, really the mechanics of this is just the jaw open and close, side to side, get that kind of chewy look. There's going to be a servo in here that's going to lift up the nose and hopefully pull the lips up above the teeth. Eye mechanism we discussed, that's all fitted in there now. And you know, the base structure of this is just these actibotic plates, these things that I've just bolted together really. There's going to be a couple of servos at the back to push these lips backwards and forwards. The head and neck movement mechanism. Okay, like I was trying to demonstrate in Fusion 360, you got a U-joint here, a U-joint down here. I added these springs just to give it a bit more tension. And basically what we've got is we've got two pivot points here, two pivot points at the top there, and translating this, moving this up and down, turns the head. So if we had something mounted in the center, I've got a little eye bolt that I'm going to hold this in the center with. So moving this little controller down here, what we essentially get is a left and right movement. We get a bit of an up and down, side to side. I think that works pretty good as some head movement. We can also, when we get this rod attached, get a bit more leeway in some of the movement, left, right, up and down here, so we can kind of make this guy creep around a little. And like I said, the springs around these U-joints really just to alleviate some of the tension. But once you have the foam and fur and everything around this, it'll be a lot more fluid. I'm pretty happy with that so far. That's not a bad range of movement. I've heard this referred to as a poor man's mechanism by one of the guys on Stan Winston's studio school, but this isn't working too bad to begin with. So that's kind of where we're at. We've got the basic mechanisms prototyped up. I think it's going to work okay. So now I'm going to take this guy apart and start printing some of these pieces in a stronger material. Next I'm going to print an underskull, do a sculpture, and start looking at free building a puppet body. I think I'm going to do that out of traditional foam. Try and mould the torso in the way that I've done in ZBrush with kind of hunched shoulders, sunken chest, little podgy belly. And start looking at furs and things like that. So if it helps anyone, I'll film myself putting this guy back together and show you how I did it. So thanks for coming along, thanks for staying interested, and I hope this kind of stuff shows my enthusiasm. So see you next week. What do you think? I'm in horrible pain.